I've run through it, practiced it twice, here we are. Let's see how it goes. Actually, he was my grandfather, and he came to Sydney to study music and to find employment as a musician. He was a French horn player. He grew up in Wellington, and when he was young, like he worked as the blacksmith's offsider in Wellington. But someone there must have been teaching music pretty well, because he made a career out of it. But once he'd finished his studies, the only work he could get was in the police band. I don't know what it's like today, but in those days, the police band were all general duties policemen who were brought together on Anzac Day or whatever to be the band. So the rest of the time they were just coppers. And he was the desk sergeant at Darlinghurst. Under Bumper Farrell through the race.
Bumper Farrell,
It didn't turn out quite the way you planned it. My mother's father was a music man. I loved to hear him play. Only he was still around. He was here today. As a farm boy in Wellington, 6 miles to school. Said police work is all I can do. I never went to high school. He spent his teens doing heavy work, playing music when he could, till he won a scholarship to the con, and he came down to play the horn. Caught the train to Sydney town, and down his boarding house. Joined the police for the steady work, for the marching band. He wrote out arrangements, each player's part at the table in the dining room. And most of the time he did the work the coppers have to do. Called to a pub brawl late one night, with some fool behind the door. His lips were cut when the bottle struck, played the horn no more, but he still had the piano. They'd sit and listen for hours. Waltzes, concertos and old-time jazz, they're all the same to him. I'm told that he was built like me, but we never stood side by side. I thought that he was a giant, looking up at him as a child.